David R. here. Today I'm going to talk to you about this book, Heaven is for Real, by TODD BURPO with LYNN VINCENT. When Colton BURPO was 3 years old, he had a near-death experience. It started when Colton had stomach problems and he was vomiting every 30 minutes. So the BURPO family took Colton to the hospital to find out what was wrong. But the doctor said he couldn't find anything wrong. So Colton was released, but Colton didn't get any better. He remained sick, and it seemed like he was getting worse. So the family took him to a second hospital to get a second opinion. And after a CT scan, the doctor discovered that Colton had a ruptured appendix and needed emergency surgery. This happened to my brother as well. He had a ruptured appendix and almost died. While Colton was in surgery, Todd, his father, being a pastor and all, he was upset. He was upset with God. So he went into a small room and basically yelled at God. He said, "Where are you? Is this how you treat your pastors? Is it even worth it to serve you?" He was upset. So when Colton got out of surgery, he was screaming for his dad. He told his father, he said, I almost died. A few weeks later, Colton had to get a second surgery, a colectomy, I believe it's called, to drain the abscess in his abdomen. My brother had that as well. He had that abscess. It's gross stuff, but that's how it goes. And so after he was released from the hospital, Colton slowly started to reveal what happened during his surgery. For instance, when Colton's dad, Todd, and his mom, Sonia, were adding up all the bills, Colton came into the room and he said, "You have to pay Dr. O'Halloran because Jesus sent him to fix me." Suddenly, it seemed like out of nowhere, people started sending small donations to the BURPO family. So Colton mentioned Jesus again when Todd wanted him to share a toy with another kid his age, another preschooler. Colton said, "Yeah, I know, Dad. Jesus told me to be nice." When Todd was preparing to preside over a funeral, Colton asked, "What's a funeral?" And after Todd told him what a funeral was, he said, "Did the man have Jesus in his heart?" He had to. He can't get into heaven if he doesn't have Jesus in his heart. So one day Colton told his dad that he had gone out of his body and he spoke with angels and sat on Jesus' lap. And he said this happened during his surgery 4 months ago. He also told Todd, "You were in that little room and Mom was on the phone in a different room. Both of you were praying and she was on the phone." See, Colton had left his body and he was floating around the hospital, just observing. Remember, Colton is only 3 years old. He brought up things that he wasn't taught in Sunday school. For instance, he said, "Did you know Jesus has a cousin?" Or, "Did you know Jesus has a horse?" This horse was a rainbow horse. When Todd asked what Jesus looked like, Colton said, "Jesus has markers and he has brown hair and brown on his face." The markers he's referring to is when Jesus was crucified. When asked how long he was in heaven, Colton said 3 minutes. Now remember, Colton is really young and he doesn't know how to tell time. I don't know how he knew 3 minutes, just 3 minutes, like it was nothing, but he did. He knew that. He said everybody had wings in heaven except for Jesus. Everybody just flew wherever they wanted to go, but Jesus didn't. Jesus could go up or down like an elevator, easily, with no problems. One day, Colton asked, "Dad, did you have a grandpa named Pop?" He says, "Yeah, he's really nice." See, Todd had a grandpa named Lawrence Barber, and he died when Todd was only 6 years old. So the only place Colton could have ever seen him or met him would have been in heaven and no other place. Another thing, Colton asked his mom, "You had a baby die in your tummy, didn't you?" Because Colton had met the sister that wasn't born because the baby was miscarried. But he said that God adopted her. Colton said he saw God's throne. And on one side of the throne was Jesus, and on the other side was the angel Gabriel. Colton also saw the gates of heaven. He said they were made of gold and they had pearls on them. Nobody's old in heaven. And that's why when he saw pictures of Pop at an older age, he didn't recognize him. But he did recognize Pop immediately in a photo where Pop was younger. So nobody gets old. He said he saw Satan and that the angels carried swords to keep Satan out of heaven. So Satan's always around. Obviously, he's on earth. He said that there's going to be a war, and this war is going to destroy the world. What he's describing here is the apocalypse. Colton said that Jesus and the angels and the good people are going to fight against Satan and the monsters and the bad people. Every time his parents would show him a picture of Jesus, Colton wouldn't recognize it. He'd say, "No, that's all wrong. The clothes are wrong. The hair is wrong. It's all wrong." But when he saw a painting by the 6-year-old Akianan Kramaric, he recognized Jesus immediately. He's like, "That's him. That's Jesus right there." Take a look at these pictures. She is a self-taught artist who's had visions of heaven. She's even claimed to have visited heaven. Well, anyway, this is a very compelling book. I recommend everyone read it. It will increase your faith in the afterlife. Well, anyway, that's all I've got. Talk to you later. Bye.